Hey everybody, Brandon Lewis here with the Tennessee Conservative News Break. I'm excited to have you here. Listen, where are you from? Are you from Chattanooga, Tennessee? Are you from Memphis? Are you from Nashville? Are you in parts unknown? In the comments section, let us know where you're watching from because we have got tons of subscribers all over the state of Tennessee, probably in every one of the 95 counties. We'd like to know where you are represented, your conservative values. I'm Brandon Lewis. This is the Tennessee Conservative News Break. And if you love these stories and would like more of them in greater detail, you can go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com and you can sign up for our e-newsletter. And if you believe in conservative journalism, and if you like the fact that we broke the migrant detention story, if you like the fact that we are uncovering cultural Marxism and critical race theory that's being pushed in schools and in chambers of commerce and in businesses all over Tennessee, we will bring you the stories that the liberal press never will. And when you give any amount, we will give you 2 proud Tennessee conservative bumper stickers, and we'll also send you this directory of your state senators and your General Assembly folks. So if they're supporting stuff you like, you can tell them, and if they're not, you can tell them as well. And if you give $50 or more, we will send you this proud Tennessee conservative tumbler. And this thing is so strong, you could actually use it as part of the foundation for your home. You could also probably use it to stop a very small, tiny bullet. I'm not sure what caliber, but this thing is made of antimonium. It is the same thing that they make Wolverine's claws out of. So this thing is all virtually indestructible, unless, of course, you damage it. So go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support and support conservative journalism in Tennessee. And if there are stories that you want us to be covering, please let us know. We're going to start out on a national/state story, and here it is. Senator Hagerty to study migration crisis in Guatemala and Mexico. Story. Senator Bill Hagerty is heading to Guatemala and Mexico this week to determine just what the United States can do to help end the migrant crisis. I've got an idea. Build the wall. Don't let people in. Okay. Closed circuit transmission to Senator Hagerty. That's my suggestion. Moving on. He says, the border crisis right now is the most immediate national security crisis that faces our nation. So that's why I've chosen to make my first international trip there, because of the immediacy of the problem that's driving that, Hagerty said. While in Guatemala and Mexico, he plans to meet with a number of cabinet-level leaders as well as business owners. I really want to get to the root cause of the crisis and talk with them about those causes so I can put a framework around how to better address them. Well, we all know why these people are coming to our country. It's because we love liberty, we love freedom, we have free economic markets, and we've created opportunity. In the countries below us, they are socialist, they are communist, and they do not have the economic underpinning that we have here, and they don't have the shared values. Therefore, they are not thriving. The sad part is that most Democrats want to turn us into European and turn us into Latin American countries where there is economic stagnation and very few opportunities, and that's one reason we got to fight against that. Going back to the story here, the crisis has an effect on the entire country, including states like Tennessee, who may not be on the border. Tennesseans have already seen the impact of the crisis in Chattanooga, where a number of unaccompanied minor children, and this is a story we broke, the Tennessee Conservative, were found to have been housed in an old dormitory without the knowledge of local governments, and I might add, without any commentary from Bill Lee and any action from the Tennessee legislature on illegal immigration, now that the legislature has stopped meeting. Why they didn't take this up, I have no idea. Back to the story. This is not a partisan issue. The need to resolve the crisis is a bipartisan problem because it's damaging to all Americans, to workers on the lower end of the pay scale, and to families losing their children to overdoses from drugs coming across the border, and people become victims of human trafficking. This is a humanitarian crisis and it needs to be addressed immediately, Hagerty said. Next story at the state level. Tennessee General Assembly cuts unemployment eligibility weeks by over half, bumps up benefit amount. Here we go. On the last day of the 2021 legislative session, the Tennessee General Assembly passed a bill that will cut the number of weeks Tennesseans are eligible for unemployment from 26 weeks to 12 weeks. The measure also increases the weekly benefit amount. Unemployed Tennesseans who made $26,000 or more before unemployment would see a $50 per week bump in unemployment pay. Everyone else would receive a $25 boost. The current maximum weekly benefit is $275. And Senator John Lundberg said, it's good for Tennessee businesses. It gives them opportunity to hire people. It's a good policy, in my opinion. One topic discussed frequently, end quote, now we're getting into the story. One topic discussed frequently in debating the bill were businesses struggling to fill openings, especially with the current $300 a week federal addition to the state unemployment benefits. Lundberg said 254,000 jobs are listed at jobsfortn.gov. And I consult and coach small businesses all over the nation, and they are struggling. This is the worst they've ever seen it. This morning, I went to a drive-through at Burger King. I go to the same place. I'm a creature of habit. It's on the way to work. I shouldn't eat that stuff. I know, but I was in a hurry. And the lady, who's very, very sweet, who knows what my order is before I say it, we talk every morning in the drive-through. And I said, well, did they finally get you some help? And she said, I've been at this a long time. It's the worst I've ever seen it. It's the worst I've ever seen it is a phrase that I continually and constantly hear because the government has tinkered, messed with, and generally disrupted the employment market. And that is hurting supply. And that's one reason that lumber prices are going through the roof. That's the reason everything in construction and in many other places is back ordered, because anything that takes a lot of labor to get out the door is backlogged. And it has to do with the fact that it's very simple economics. If you tax something, you get less of it. If you incentivize it, you get more of it. And when you incentivize somebody sitting at home, they sit at home. Newsflash. Back to the story. They are all looking for people. Senator Mike Bell, of a Republican from Riceville, said they're looking for warm bodies. The jobs are out there, and it's time we stop incentivizing people staying home. And I agree with Mr. Bell. Let's go to the national side. Increasing number of people crossing border illegally, evading Border Patrol. More than 177,000 people illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border were apprehended by Border Patrol in April, on top of the, get this, 42,620 who evaded apprehension. In February and March, those evading capture were estimated to be about 30,000 people per month, meaning they were not processed by Border Patrol and entered the general U.S. population. Well, it doesn't matter. Even if they go through the immigration hearings, only about half of the people show up for their hearings. That's the number. That's the number for unaccompanied migrant children. So they, half at least end up, even they go through the proper channels, but we know probably 2/3 never go through those channels. So, they're just flooding over the border. Back to the story. The number of people who evade capture is now nearly 1,400 people a day. Multiply that times 365, and you get almost 1 million people by the time you probably count the folks that they're not counting. Maybe it's double. Back to the story. These numbers exclude the number of illegal border crossers who run back across the border if they are being chased by Border Patrol, referred to as turnbacks. In April alone, Border Patrol counted 14,500 turnbacks. April alone. There are 11 other months in a year. We've got almost 2 years left of Joe Biden's administration. This is going to get out of hand. Back to the story. In one day, the Rio Grande unit seized 60 pounds of cocaine and nearly 900 pounds of marijuana. Starr County Sheriff's Office disrupted 4 human smuggling stash houses, resulting in the arrest of 52 immigrants in 7 hours. On May 4th, the Laredo Sector Border Patrol shut down 3 stash houses and apprehended over 180 people. In another encounter, McAllen Border Patrol agents arrested 42 individuals, all single adults, actively attempting to evade apprehension. And in one weekend, they also apprehended a group of 8 individuals, which one individual has extensive criminal background, including sexually assaulting a child, and another had racketeering charges. We need to have these people here, right? Again, we do not have magic soil in the United States of America. When you step on our soil, you do not become a productive citizen. You do not embrace the values of hard work and individual liberty. You don't necessarily have the best interest of the citizens of the United States in your mind when you cross the border illegally. The first thing that we know about you is that you are a lawbreaker. And people that tend to break laws to come into a country tend to continue to break laws, and we're seeing a lot of this. Let's go to the local story here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga's Nightfall concert series returns with live in-person performances. I am so happy. Love live music. A downtown event voted as Chattanooga's favorite. I would say it's one of my favorite. Is returning this year with a series of live performances starting in June and concluding in September. The free Nightfall series is held each night Friday. So if you're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Friday night, go down to Miller Plaza and Miller Park. You'll have a good time. When first announced, there was confusion as to whether the concert series would be live or if they would stream it over a screen, in which case nobody would watch it. That's my words, not theirs. Nobody likes recorded music shown on a screen. That's called YouTube. It's not an event. Others were concerned if masks would be required at the outdoor event. However, Mayor Kelly's recent updates of Chattanooga's COVID executive order, all language concerning masks and social distance requirements were removed from the order when people were outdoors. One Hamilton County resident said that he was looking forward to another year of real Nightfall, and the first show is June 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Those are your stories. If there are stories that you think we need to cover that we're not covering, leave those stories in the comment section. Let us know where you're listening from. Let us know what you think about these stories that we're covering. And if you know of something, like the gentleman who let me know about the Migrant Detention Center, we will keep you anonymous. If you know of something going on in state or local government, and you need a news outlet that will actually carry it when the liberal leftist press would bury it, reach out to me. Okay, you can private message us on Facebook. You can email news@TennesseeConservativeNews.com, and we will help you. We also have our Newsmaker line, which is 423-602-7945. And if you can, guys, I mean this seriously from the bottom of my heart, go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support. Give to our efforts. It costs a lot of money and time to generate these stories, to cover them, to bring them to you, but it's something that I think is sorely needed. We hear conservatives complain about not having a conservative press. Well, here we are. We need your help. Go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support. Guys, I've enjoyed spending some time with you. If you would, save the date. Put July 10th on your calendar. I'm going to have more details on that event later, but put July 10th on your calendar because we're going to have a very awesome event for you. It's going to be called the Tennessee Freedom Summit. More on that coming later. Little teaser for you now. Brandon Lewis here with the Tennessee Conservative News, signing off.